Hi, everybody. Just back for a short one as I'm inspired to talk about the nature of being human, the nature of needing to move through this processing of our emotions and of the mind, the thoughts, the belief, the structure, the integration, the awakening of the spirit, the embodiment of the soul energies. And right now it's really calling the importance to pay attention, to focus on our own personal journeys. We've been through a lot of healing. Many of us have been through a lot of healing. And there's many of us that are also still feeling, as we feel into the fractures in the outer reality, the fractures in the inner reality. And I am hearing from so many people, I'm not quite where I would want to be in this moment in my life, at this time where there's a lot of destabilization. And so I wanted to remind people of the gift of the healing insight method that has come through through me for you. So it came through as a gift for personal transformation so that we can begin to understand and integrate, become whole with the physical body, the mind, the higher mind, spiritual mind, higher self, the emotions, the sense, the feeling, the intuition, the sixth sense, the knowing, the spiritual gifts, wisdom, and the soul journey that is encouraging us more than anything at this time back into heart. So we know, yes, we are being challenged. We are being pushed into distraction. We're being pushed into avoidance, handing over. We've got the whole relationship and impact of AI, which for some people, can be positive. Please always use discernment, use it with your divine intelligence only at all times. We've also got the invitation to focus here, to focus on this suffering over here, to focus on this war over here, to focus on this shortage over here, to focus on lack, hate, fear. It's all around us. If we look, it's all around us. So it's all here, 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 here. And we receive it because our body, our hearts are receivers, our cells are receivers. We are antennas. We receive these frequencies around us. We're receiving the phone signals, we're receiving the Wi-Fi signals, we're receiving a lot of distortion. And so there's never been a more important time to come back to what's true, what's real, what's organic, and what is in here. And half of the problem that I am seeing at the moment for people dropping into heart is that they have heart pain. They have mistrust. There are heart walls. The heart, our energy has done a good job at doing its best to protect ourselves, to keep our circles small, to not speak our voices out for fear of rejection, to not want to disturb, to not want to upset. And so we are contracting, and this noise is getting louder and louder and louder. So we fade to grey, or we illuminate and we amplify and we come back to the truth of who we are. We come back to our innate power, our innate love, our spiritual divine wisdom, our earthly wisdom through all of the journeying that we've had, the ancestral wisdom. We can learn from the suffering. We can, and we have, and we've learned from the past. But this is a continued journey of finding the gift in the suffering, finding the spark, the transmutation through the suffering, the chiron, the wounded healer. The suffering is where we hold, in so many ways, the potential for the most light. So whatever it is on our journey that has triggered our contraction or our distraction or our rejection or our unconscious acting out and projecting the pain out there, that's where the magic, the treasure, the gift is. So it's so important in this now to go inward and to be reassured that when you go deep enough inward and far enough inward, and you stay with it and you breathe with it and you allow the opening and you allow the curiosity, you allow the tenderness, you allow the unconditional love for yourself, for your journey, for all that you have been through or that you are moving through, that there is an opening and there is a softening and there is an access point to your divine spark, your divine brilliance, your light of source of God, that which is true, that which is pure in its purest sense and its purest form, and that there is magic unfolding for us on earth at this point of huge transformation. And I want to say that we have a choice. Like, we might not always see that we have a choice, but we have a choice. But a lot of that choice is in what we do with what's in our field or what's coming up, what's surfacing, what's presented to us. So a lot of this is about human mastery of how we have relationship with ourselves, how we have relationship with other, how we have relationship with our emotional selves, our emotional terrain, what we do with that, how we honor that and process that, but also how we clear the mind and move beyond the programs. So we begin to recognize what's a thought, what's an entrenched belief that triggers this thought. Thoughts are like branches maybe off of or leaves maybe off of a branch. But what's that thought? What's that belief? Because what we are coming to in this bigger, beautiful picture, in this miraculous tree of life that's as expansive up top as it is below, is that we are creator beings. And if we are creator beings, then we have the ability and the power to create. And that is human mastery. And so there's a journey there to be taken if you wish to take it. And so for those that are resonant, that are on their journeys, that have been on their journeys for a long time, and who are allowing this unfolding, it's not always about just pacifying and calming and working with, not creating disruption or just being peace in the world or just being love in the world. We have to come into now truth and authenticity from the heart, not from a program, not from a projection, but truth that's deep in the heart, deep in the heart's essence, in your spiritual divine essence of knowing. And this is where I wanted to share some of what I offer, because I chartered as a counseling psychologist in 2004. I quickly, because of my own personal journey of healing myself from incurable lupus, moved into belief work and energy psychology work. I developed my healing gifts and skills, my ability to read and sense energy, to open to spirit. I've had my beautiful, profound spiritual experiences. And I've worked with the unification of those so I can be in unconditional love, and I can be not as affected by things that are in the outer. Because in so many ways, it's not for me, it's not my battle. And me giving my energy, my power away to over empathize and collapse my energy and my purpose and my sharing of what I'm here to deliver and I'm here to bring doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve these people here. It doesn't serve my channel and my gifts of what I'm here to share and bring through as a soul. And that's the same for all of us. So, as I said before, some things come to us and they're on our doorsteps, and it's how we lovingly, compassionately respond with those, with a sense of personal responsibility, but not an overly developed sense of responsibility. And this is part of the mastery and part of the contradiction, because those of you that know the healing insight method, we work a lot, and they're going to find it, yes, with the infinity symbol, because we're in a world of polarity. And so we can lean too far one way, or we can lean too far the other way. But if we're experiencing this, it's possible for us to experience this, because it's just the other side of this 0 point here. And this 0 point here in the heart space is where we can balance these polarities. We can start to collapse the polarities. We can hold it all in a space of honoring, but of neutrality, and allow the dissolving of that which polarizes us. And we are going to be asked to be polarized again now. So when we're asked to polarize, we have a choice to bring ourselves back to center, back to the divinity, to the multidimensional, to the core of who we are, of what we're here to remember, what we're here to be and to bring. So I I struggle to share the healing insight method, because there's part of me that goes, well, I put it out in the world. Those that will pick it up will pick it up. But I'm realizing I do need to talk about it, and I do need to. It really did come through as a gift. And I still have beautiful emails from people all over the world who message me and tell me how profound it is and tell me how it's changed their lives. And that's beautiful. So it is getting out and it is doing its thing. But this is a system. So many of us are feeling the crunch right now with finance, inflation, and so on. So when this came through, it was very clear this was not about me marketing it. It was not about me selling it. It was not about a lifeline for me. It was a gift of all of my experiences that I've learned as a healer, working with people for almost 30 years now. And for me to put it into a healing system, into a book, my insights, there's so many layers to this method that I don't spell out, but it teaches you emptiness. It teaches you how to access that point of balance. It teaches you how to be present with the energy, to soften into it and to allow energy to move, because energy will move when we create sacred space for it to move. It teaches us not to dwell into the programs, into the traumas, into the recycling of old energy. It teaches us to focus, to utilize the mind on where we want to go, but it allows the energy to clear. It allows the energy to move through the old energy that is not resonant. This is about resonance. When we are creative beings, we create from a space of resonance. We cannot create that which we are not resonant with. And so this healing process, this system utilizes whole brain awareness, the activation of the corpus callosum, to become whole, to bring everything together. So where there is resistance, which brings us into contraction, it enables us to release that resistance, release that contraction. Resistance is just there as a protection. That's all. It's not a bad thing. It's just when you are stable and sturdy enough in yourself through the Qigong practice, you're holding space for yourself, you've got your vector, you know where you're going, where you want to go, then you can align yourself vibrationally with the healing insight, through the healing insight method, with the belief that you want. So that's a process of surrendering and allowing a recalibration of your energy field through thought, through belief, through emotions, through the spiritual, in one process contained in itself. Often people will ask me or question, like, how I don't, not knowing what to change or not knowing how to get there. So what was channeled through me was a series of beliefs, 28 beliefs in total, relating to each chakra. I've worked with just the main 7 chakras for the human experience. And yes, I know the chakras are evolving. We have higher chakras and other chakras that are much more active, particularly now as we're moving through this. That will all come in organically and naturally as we soften and we open and we allow and we center ourselves more in the heart and live from the heart space. But the system, the book, shows you, and on my website there is a course, I think it's only £144, that's it, that takes you through a whole series of lessons of how to muscle test yourself for these beliefs. So it may be, I've gone to the third eye beliefs here. So it may be that you have a particular feeling that you are rubbing up against. Some trigger in the external has happened and you're feeling off, your energy is feeling off. You've gone into contraction. Contraction feels like you lose your life force. You've given your power away to something, some external force. You're not flowing in the same way. Your frequency has dropped. Your vibration has, emitting this kind of unease. So when we're on contraction by some external event, you will have thoughts going on. You'll have programs running, because that's the only reason we go into contraction, is because it's triggered one of our own programs. So if you can come into taking full responsibility for your programs, through whatever ancestry you've chosen to incarnate into, whatever experiences that you've had, and then you can muscle test to ask for what's the priority belief that you need. This is the simplest way you can use the method. What's the priority belief that you need in order to shift your frequency? And so it gives you antidote. Okay. So if you were to muscle test for, is it in the root chakra as the belief, and you got to know, you would move on to sacral, is it in the sacral chakra, so on. And you muscle test each belief until you get your yes, you get your chakra. And then if it's third eye chakra, for example, you then muscle test these aspects. So is it an issue around protection, around purity, around intuition, around healing, around peace of mind, around psychic awareness, or around unity, coming into the one? So if that is coming up for you, let's take the unity beliefs, for example. So there are then 3 main beliefs, 1, 2, 3, and a 4th. So you can then muscle test, and you may need any or all of those beliefs. And then you can use the method, drop yourself into emptiness, into your center, connect to source, connect to the earth, opening your earth star chakra and your soul star chakra, and then activate the hemispheres of the brain using the infinity symbol and harmonize the energy coming into alignment with these. And you can repeat these in one long string. That will shift your energy so you don't need to stay in contraction. So it's here. It's here for you. Okay, so this is working with chakras for belief change. I do think it came, well, it was published, the card deck was published during COVID, which is then where I got massively distracted. And the book was published a year before. So this is what the card deck looks like. So lots of colorful cards. So you could just pick yourself a random card. You can just shuffle, see what drops out. On the bottom here, I'm going to read this one for us today. Potential. So this is a sacral chakra card, which says, I am alive with potential and fertile with possibility. I allow my dreams and desires to gestate and birth. I am an expression of the infinite potential of the universe. I nurture my potential and possibility. All is possible. So I will leave you with that. I know people are struggling right now. I really genuinely know, I get it, I feel it. I'm very connected in with the collective energies and frequencies. And you know, this is my work, my life's work. And I wanted to come in with a solution and reassurance that we can move through this. That when we feel the crunch, you know, it is an opportunity to dive into that personal mastery and to align ourselves and realign ourselves and realign ourselves and allow ourselves to really drop into the truth of the heart that's really wanted to be spoken with me and through me right now, to really bring ourselves into the truth in the heart, because with so much misinformation, false information, hijacking of the mind, of consciousness, also the one place that holds truth is in the heart. It's your best radar for discernment, and it's also your gift to your best self, to love. And at the end of the day, you know, where there is love, there's a way. All right, love from me to you. Thank you for listening. If you haven't got the method, or you picked it up and then put it down, maybe pick it up again, or share it with anyone who may need it but can't do therapy right now, or doesn't want to reach out for support. There's a lot of people just like to do it by themselves. But this is here. It's here. All right. Lots of love. Take care. Be well.